In today's shiur, in the series Money Matters, we're going to discuss ambiguous transactions. This shiur, like all the shiurim, is Leilu Nishmat Lezecha Rachalea Bat Reb Chaim Tzvi. In any purchase, in any transaction, it must be crystal clear what's been included, what's going to be included in the transaction, and what's not included in the sale, in the buy. What are you buying? What are you selling? There's all sorts of things around the main subject of the transaction that have to be clear exactly what's being sold and what's not being sold. When you buy a second-hand car, are you buying it with the radio tape or without the radio tape? You suddenly arrive at the car after you've ordered it and bought it and there's no radio. It's been taken out. When you buy a house, is the parking lot included? Is the storage room included? Are the mezuzot included? Are the light fittings included? Is the air conditioning included? All these things must be crystal clear in the contract, in the arrangement. If they're not, the halacha has ways of dealing with them, but it's not necessarily the best way it's not necessarily going to satisfy the intentions of the parties. The halacha doesn't want to deal with these things. The halacha has to deal with them because people forget to discuss them and to arrange them. Where people have decided between them everything that's included, what's going to be with the air conditioning, what's going to be with the mezuzot, what's going to be with the parking lot, the radio tape, whatever they agree is final, and there's no problem with that. The halacha has no problem with that. You can agree to whatever you like. You can agree to whatever you like. But if you didn't, then the halacha is going to have to get involved. Jewish monetary law is going to get involved and tell you what is included and what's not included. The general rule in any ambiguous sale, in any ambiguous language that's been used in a sale, is the overriding rule in monetary law, Jewish monetary law, hamotzi mechavero al avaraya. The seller has the upper hand. The person who wants to take away from him. When you sold me the car, you sold it with the radio tape. When you sold me the apartment, you sold it with the parking lot. He's the one that's motzi. He's taking away. The buyer is taking away from the seller. The seller has the upper hand. Seeing as the everything is in the possession of the seller, he only gives up what it can be proved that he has to give up. Therefore, the buyer is the one that's going to have to prove that the radio tape was sold to him, or the parking lot was sold to him, and was included in the price that was paid. The small print in a contract, that's what's going to include all these things. There's going to be explained all these things. What's included and what's not included. That's why the small print in any contract is very, very important. And people should be careful to pay attention to what's written in that small print. Especially because as long as the contract, once a contract has been signed, everything that's written in the contract is binding. Even if you didn't read it, and even if it's written in Chinese, and you don't know Chinese, if you signed on the contract, everything that's written there is binding on you. Why? It's presumed that because you signed without reading, you relied on the other side. Even it's known that you didn't. We know that you didn't read it. Like I say, it's written in Chinese. You don't know Chinese. Everyone knows you don't know Chinese. So you couldn't have understood what was written there. It's presumed that you relied 100% on the other side, and you're prepared to accept on yourself everything that they say. What they say is kadosh. So your signature on a contract binds you, even if we know that you didn't read it. There was a case that came to Beit Din of a real estate agent. Now you know when a real estate agent takes you around to show you properties, they have a standard form that they sign you down on. There they write in the names of the properties, the addresses of the properties that they're showing you, And it also says that, if you buy any of these properties, even not through them, or if you pass on the information to someone else, you still have to pay them the percentage, whatever it is, 1%, 2% of the purchase price. And after they've showed you a property, they ask you to sign. Now, very often, someone who's going with an agent might be asked to sign before he's been shown the properties. And they leave it blank. They leave blank the properties that they're going to show it to him. And after they've showed them, they'll fill them in. Here, you have to be careful. There's a problem. If you sign while this form, this contract is blank, then the estate agent can afterwards fill in any addresses that he likes. And you will be obligated to pay him a percentage if you buy that property. There was a case, it might seem strange, but it's actually happened. A guy was shown certain properties